you didn't even talk about photography. It was more about discovery, the experience, which is,
Yeah,
people don't talk about that enough. A lot of people are too focused on their gear, right? And the settings and the which is obviously important, but, really, I think to step up to the next level and to actually, what this is all about is really a form of self-expression and self-fulfillment, is
yeah,
getting that, just a selfish kind of buzz from it, right? Finding
yeah,
how to get that buzz. And most of the time, it doesn't come from setting your ISO or having a specific aperture speed or having a specific lens, right?
hmm,
It comes from the experience and finding out these, really noticing and observing those small details and then figuring out ways to piece them together. So yeah, I love all that.
yeah. I mean, I was very fortunate. When you look back and what felt like an unfortunate set of circumstances and didn't feel good at the time, actually did me the world of good because I
Yeah,
already
tell
knew.
me a little bit more about that, especially in the mental health side.
Hmm,
Because they're so related. The physical and the mindful, so interconnected with each other. I'm sure when you had such a chronic illness and chronic condition that you
hmm.
can't help but spiral into some kind of negative mood and whatever went on, which maybe you will or won't tell us about. But I'm interested to know more a little bit more about that if possible, but and then how, if that's connected with a form of escapism almost, in kind of leaving home, getting out into the most solitary experience possible in terms of nature and people, no people around, and having that complete, almost pure solitude. They're related to each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I remember before we got Meg, and I was out just doing my usual, walk for 15 minutes around the streets, um, and I remember going out. It was dark one night, and I would just mope around, and with my knees really hurting and my back hurting, and I remember looking down this dark path which wasn't lit. And it's just one of those things, like it was really weird. I don't think I've ever told this story because it just seems like a really sort of strange thing. But I just looked down this dark path, and it's logically you just wouldn't walk down because it just doesn't feel safe. It's like,
Mm,
why would you walk down this dark path? You don't know what's down there. And I never would walk down a dark path like that. But then I was looking, thinking, actually, I don't care what happens. When I go
really?
down here, yeah, yeah. I think I'm just saying I'm going to walk down here and I don't care what happens. I know logically nothing's going to happen. Um, but logically you wouldn't normally walk down there either. But, you know, but so in that moment, I thought, it seems like a strange thing now, but in the moment, I just thought, well, what, something's not right there. To have that sort of feeling of,
Yeah.
going down, wanting to walk down this path and not care what happens. I knew that that was a bit strange, and that there was probably more going on in my head than I
Mm,
realized. So yeah, it was. It's very difficult to articulate because when you go into the woods, and you've discovered something which makes you feel fantastic, well, not fantastic, but helps you process, those more negative thoughts, and it just hushes them a little bit. They're not at the
yeah.
forefront anymore, and they just become a little bit more settled. And then the more you expose yourself to those positive environments and positive feelings, then those negative things just get sort of pushed further down, but not pushed and buried. They're just kind of dispersed, and they
Yeah.
slowly just fade away over years. Um, and recognizing that is just it's done me wonders creatively, because like we've just been talking about, it meant that the primary focus for me, yes, it was to make photographs as well, but it was just about trying to get myself sorted out mentally and physically. And and I think when you recognize that nature has such a profound power to heal you in that way, the objective of the photography wasn't to, you know gain a huge following and financial success. the objective of the photography was to celebrate something.